it's Neil Lazarus here from awesomeseminars.com. In this editorial, I wanted to look at the so-called siege of the Gaza Strip by Israel. Only this week we had a so-called peace vessel, peace boat breaking the siege of Gaza and dramatically meeting the Palestinians. One of the best publicity stunts which have been organized by Israel, and one of the biggest failures. Israel didn't stop the boat, and in many ways they wasted the $500,000 which it cost to run this boat to Gaza. To understand really what's going on, to understand that the myth of the siege of Gaza has been created, we actually have to understand what the real issues are. The real issues are, one, Hamas, a radical Sunni group which has taken over the Gaza Strip, which sees the Quran as a way of organizing Palestinian society and fighting the Israelis. And we have to understand that Israel has withdrawn from the Gaza Strip and therefore has, under no international obligation, the right to intervene or to the necessary to provide any humanitarian aid. And despite that, it does so. Let's stop for a second and let's have a look inside a Hamas cell filmed in Gaza, preparing their suicide bombers against Israel.
استغفر الله العظيم الذي لا اله الا هو الحي القيوم استغفر الله العظيم يا ارحم الراحمين
واستبرق المتقابلين كذلك وزوجناهم.
أنا المجاهد في سبيل الله الشهيد الحي في سبيل الله محمد أبو بكر محمد عماد.
تسجيلات كتائب شهداء الأقصى في مخيم البداوي.
I think it's amazing that so many people don't actually get the whole story of Hamas, a radical fundamentalist group that takes the Quran as its guidebook for fighting Israelis. Look, only 3 weeks ago we had Fatah members of Abu Mazen, Mahmoud Abbas's political group, running over the Gaza Strip's border into Israel with their hands up, pleading by the Israeli army to take them prisoner because Hamas was about to kill them. We have today, it's estimated, something like 200 tunnels coming underneath the border with Egypt, smuggling from drugs, weapons, cigarettes, women, etc. Most of these tunnels are made by people under the age of 16. Even the Palestinian human rights organizations within the Gaza Strip are brave enough to condemn some of the tactics of Hamas, which include replacing teachers who dare strike in protest at Hamas educational policy. In other words, there's a clear double standard. I have no problem people criticizing Israel, but criticize it fairly. Criticize what Hamas is doing at the same time. Since the year 2000, we've had over 7,000 rockets landing from the Gaza Strip into Israel. I remind you, Israel withdrew. Israel withdrew from the Gaza Strip. The only thing that they left was synagogues and greenhouses. Day 1, the greenhouses were destroyed. Day 2, the synagogues were burnt. And day 3, we had an increase in the number of missiles which were coming across. 95% of all Israeli children living in the city of Sderot have some form of post-traumatic stress, including bedwetting, etc. It is a situation which is intolerable. and wouldn't be tolerated by any other country other than Israel. So why is it these critics of Israel, these so-called peace activists, are only pointing the finger at Israel? What I would say to them is, when you point a finger, there's always 3-4 fingers pointing back at you. I also remind you that in accordance to international law, Israel has the right to defend itself. And despite the missiles coming across, Israel's allowing aid in, Israel is allowing the trucks in. By the way, one of the biggest problems with access of aid and humanitarian aid is that Hamas is targeting the entrances into Gaza. We're seeing trucks being targeted at the same time. Since June 2007, Israel has allowed more than 9,000 Palestinians to enter Israel to seek medical treatment. Contrast this with more than 1,700 rockets and mortars that Hamas has fired. My friends, I think what we're seeing with this boat, and I hear there's another boat on the way, is the double standard that we see against Israel. And it's that double standard, not fair criticism. Be fair in criticism, I have no problem with that. Where Israel can do no right, that everything Israel does is wrong, and only the Palestinians are victims, that is a clear case of a double standard, and many people would argue anti-Semitism as well.